So I'm down here by our stone mine just collecting some moss because we're gonna need a lot of moss in this episode. And we have a mine shaft down here. That's kind of interesting. We did find a lot of mine shaft that probably connects to this whenever I was mining out the stone area, which is actually finished, by the way. Yeah, we mined out the whole entire area. Let's get back out of here before the mobs catch up to us. I heard that zombie growl. But if we go up here and light a little bit up while we are on our way, if we go up here, oh, there we are, up in this direction. Here we go. Here's our mine. Yeah. And I'm going to mine up a lot of this moss. Probably all of it that I can find for the build today. But we mined all the way over to there and over to here. One thing that's good is I've been getting slime from down here and also glow squid ink, because there's a couple of slime chunks around here. So while I'm down here, they'll just spawn. So it's been nice not having to go to... Oh, this is not the area I was looking for. Where's there? Over there. But it's been nice not to have to go to the swamp at night to get slime. I can just jump down here until we have a slime farm. This is a lot more convenient than the swamp has been. But also in here, none right now, but glow squid spawn in here. It's low enough and dark enough. And so I've just been casually getting glow squid whenever I see him glowing in there. And it's been quite nice. Oh, there's a slime right there. Let's get the slime. Come here. Yeah. Nice. But we got tons of cobble and tons of granite and diorite and andesite and other resources. And I've already moved them into shulkers into our storage. But if we look in this barrel down here, as you can see, we have tons of cobblestone. And we got a couple of shulkers of diorite and shulker of granite. And a little bit of stone as well. So we should be good for a while. We got a good amount of copper, like these raw blocks all came from there, or for the most part did. A little bit of iron. And one thing that we did get is we got 22 stone ore, which is really rare. So I'm going to save these in stone form, and maybe they'll go into a build or something in the future one day. We'll see. I don't have any plans for it just yet. But since we did finish mining out that, we can check something off the board right at the beginning of the episode, which is exciting. Where is it? Deep slate stone levels. So it should be this one. Did I see that right? Yeah. Okay. So this episode, I want to do... All right, what we're doing today is actually not on the board. It's something important I guess I overlooked, but we're going to build a moss farm today. We're going to start a swamp kingdom, or rather I should say frog kingdom. But if we fly over this way, over the ocean, we will come to a spot that I want to build up. So normally, whenever I do like a swamp area, it's usually like an industrial area where I throw up a witch farm, I throw up a flower farm, and a swamp farm. It's not this swamp. This is where we got the slime and frogs and stuff. But we're going to go over this way and find a different swamp. But whenever I do a swamp area, like I was saying, it's usually an industrial area. I throw the farms down, and then I kind of don't worry about how it looks, and I just go there whenever I need the resources for it. So this time I wanted to go ahead and actually make something that is pretty, that would be cool to show off and will be fun to visit, and just a little bit more, I don't know, builds, right? Builds rather than just the farms plopped down in the middle of nowhere. So I've picked out this area here. It's not ideal. Ideally, I would want a swamp where you can't see the other biomes nearby, but there isn't one anywhere nearby. If I was to redo this world and start over, I would probably do large biomes, but I don't want to start this world over because I do like this world. But I am like, this area here is great because it has two witch huts, one there and one there. And what I'm going to need to do is actually, I'm going to land on here. So let's take a look at this in free cam. I'm going to have to do a lot of work in here. This is going to be multiple episodes. To start with, I want to do a moss farm, which is going to go, I don't know where it's going to go. I think somewhere over here, maybe. And then we have a witch farm that's going to go there. We have a witch farm that's going to go there. I'm going to make a storage building so all of the drops get funneled into one storage area. And we're probably going to put a slime farm right there. So this means I'm going to have to get rid of all of these trees. We're going to come in, dig the dirt out about this here, probably following the biome. Maybe we'll cut at that river there and just get rid of all of this land. We'll keep the little island or like peninsula kind of beach area there, but cut out the swamp here and make it all water. We'll probably trim this away more. And then we're going to plop down buildings. And as I said when we took off, this is going to be a frog kingdom. It's a little weird. It's going to be hard to explain, but bear with me. This is an instance you're going to have to trust. In a few episodes, you will see this place is going to be super cool. But the idea is that it's an ancient city with like these monolithic type frog buildings with like boardwalks, docks kind of things connecting all of it together. And the idea is that maybe this ancient city was inhabited by players like a long time ago, and then that kind of like worshiped the frogs, and then the frogs took over once they left, or maybe the frogs built it themselves. We just don't know. But yeah, bear with me. It's a little bit weird. So I hope you're hyped for this project. I'm really excited for it. I've been working on it and thinking about it for months now. And I'm finally at a stage in this world where I could start working on it. And plus, I really need a redstone farm and a slime farm. Like, those are necessities that we definitely need to get done. But I've got a lot of grind to do, so let's sharpen our tools and get to work. It's about 24 hours later, but the digging is done. Look at that. Look at all of those cows and pigs and chickens out there. There used to be land there. Let's go into free cam real quick and check it out. Wait. I gotta go back to first person view. There we go. Okay. If I go up here, you can kind of see where I dug out. So right around here, like all of this was land. And then over into this area here, I cleaned it all up. And I cut down the trees here. I think I might put trees back or at a later date go and carve this out as well. But I don't think it's needed at this point. I'm not sure though. And then I cleaned up over here a little bit, and yeah, that's about it. But it took way, way longer than I thought. I probably spent a good 12 hours or more on just digging. And here is all the stuff we got from it. A ton of dirt. A ton of dirt. Most of this is dirt. We got some logs in there from cutting the trees down and some stone and dirt. Lots of dirt. A little more dirt over here as well. And we got a bunch of saplings, some random stones, a bunch of just random stuff I picked up along the way, sticks, more wood, and only a few ores. Nothing great. But now I've got to go ahead and gather up all of the resources. Hello, chicken. Hello. Goodbye, chicken. Goodbye. Like I said, I gotta gather up all of the resources. I won't make you sit through that, but yeah, I guess, I don't know. Should I show you the resources or should we jump into a time lapse? Let's jump into the time lapse, and then after that, I will go ahead and show you the moss farm and the storage and maybe talk about the plans a little bit more. So without further ado, enjoy this time lapse. Look at it. It's a frog building. It's so silly. And we got another frog building over here. What do you guys think? Yeah, I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious. And it's just gonna get better. You gotta trust me on here. Like I said, this is the start of like a frog kingdom. So imagine like a few more of these buildings over the witch farms, and I think I'll put a slime farm like in this area, and we'll probably put an orchid farm out here as well. And then we'll have like docks, like ruined docks like this that kind of connect everything together. And then maybe we'll put in another structure for like a portal to the nether roof up here, and maybe some statues or other things to really fill out this area and make it a really good frog kingdom. Trust. You're going to have to trust me on this. It's going to be really cool. And I mean, it already looks cool. Like, look at this. This is our storage area. I kept this really plain because I'm gonna have to add more things on here. So everything that's produced in this area, I want to be stored in this chest array right here. And I realize I'm already missing at least one for the things that I want. And if I add anything else, then I'm gonna have to add more storage. So in here is just plain with no decoration or anything, and just this chest array. And I figured out one thing that I'm gonna have to change already. So I have a bubble column here coming up from pipes that run underground all through here, and you can kind of see it there, and it connects up to the farm, and everything will connect to this main central pipe here that goes into storage. But the problem with that is the sheer amount of items that are coming in and going all into one hopper right here is just too much. It's not going to work. It's going to easily get backed up, and then we're going to start losing stuff into like the lava here, which I haven't put in yet. And or they're just going to despawn up here because this will be clogged most of the time. So what I'm going to have to do is put in an ice path here with honey blocks and basically a loop, so it goes all the items go around in a loop. Does that make you dizzy? That's making me dizzy. I should stop doing that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put an item loop here so that the items just circle around, and if they don't get picked up on the first loop, then they'll get picked up on the next. So right now we're producing moss, pale moss, and bone meal. That's all I'm keeping from the moss farm. But let's go ahead and go look at the moss farm real quick. And oh, let's look at the frogs a little bit. So this one has mushrooms on it. They're overgrown. When we come back and do the details, I am going to add vines and stuff. But the buildings are a mix of cobble, tuff, andesite, mossy cobble, moss, and they're overgrown with grass. And each building's gonna have like kind of some identification like element to it, which the storage will stand out the most because we have these nice bright red mushrooms on it. And we also lit it all up with lichen, so it's all spawn proof. And then we have some what is that, cobbled deep slate, and we got little polished blackstone nose. Dude, he's such a derpy frog. So we can imagine that like these were nice and pristine stone, like monolithic type buildings, and then over the centuries or however long it's been, they've decorroded, dirt piled up on them, things started growing on them. This one has a nice willow tree growing out of it. We should probably sleep. But like I was saying, this one has a nice willow tree growing out of it. It's so good. It like some seeds like landed up here and it started growing in the root system. Came down the side here. Look at that. That is so good. I love it. And we'll add some more willow trees and stuff throughout this thing as well once we build it up more. And then we have some shelf fungus here, I think it's called. But yeah, it's great. I'm super happy with this build. I'm super excited for how it's going to end up as well. Here is the pipe coming out of it, as you can see. Where it was exposed underwater, I just added a white glass there. And then where it goes into the land that's already there, it's just dirt and stone. It's rather ugly, but we'll never see that. So this is the moss farm. It's your typical moss farm. If I can climb up scaffolding. Um, we have moss and we have pale moss. We have the storage back there. So basically, moss farms, what they are stone generators. That's what this is. There's water in that block there. And the pistons push it. We have a timer here that keeps the pistons like attracting and pushing and stuff. And I just went into the lava. Give me water. Give me water. Okay, that was not good. Um, so it pushes the stone, and we have obsidian over here to stop the stone. And then underneath we have bone meal getting funneled into here. And I made space where I can put 4 shulkers of bone meal up there, which last a long time and will give us lots of moss. And they just funnel into these droppers here, and then a dispenser up top. And then whenever this stone generator pushes the blocks, they pop upward. So when it crosses over this observer, the observer will trigger here, trigger this clock here, which you kind of can't see. Here we go. It would trigger this clock here, and then also trigger the bone meal to bone meal the moss again and make it spread. And then it also triggers this water here, which pushes all the moss that's up here and all the other items into this waterway here. And then here we have one of those item loops that I was talking about, where the items just go around. and then they're picked up by these filters here. And then underneath, here's the filters that they pick up. So you can see we're taking seeds. So we're taking all of the items except for the two mosses and running them through composters, and they go down into this hopper here, get spit out into this dropper, into the waterway, back to storage that way. And then here is where all the moss is going here, and they get put into these droppers, and then they get spit out down there. And this is just to trigger that. So if I turn it on, we can see it run. So the stone is generating, it's pushing the moss and making it pop off there, and pretty soon it's going to go over the observer, I think, on the next push. And it triggers the bone meal, triggers that, pushes everything into there. It goes around, as you can see, everything got picked up there. And the moss comes out here, and the bone meal comes out there. You can see bone meal being made. And then it all just travels down through here and off into storage that way. So that's pretty much it, right? Yeah, I think so. Some moss farms. So I can go ahead and turn this off here. And one thing, it doesn't really matter. I can just let these items despawn. But now that I really need moss, I'm coming up here and just throwing them in there. I could probably make a trigger on this that pushes it like one last time after I turn it off. But I don't really feel bothered with it. It's only a few pieces that can despawn if I decide to leave it. But yeah, we have moss farms. So as you can see, we need a lot of moss for these builds, and we're going to need a lot of moss to finish the other builds. So I wanted to go ahead and get this done first, and also get the storage up so that once we build these farms, we can make them operational and start collecting all the items. So right here, you can see this is why I need to put an item loop here. We got so much moss coming in that when it goes into the first hopper, it doesn't have enough space to suck in all of it into the filter. So you get a instance where they get sucked into the top hopper, and the hopper spits it out sideways and spits it out down, spits it out sideways, spits it out down. So we lose a good amount of moss if we just leave it alone. So I'm going to have to come in probably in between episodes and put an item loop here, and I should probably definitely do that before I hook up the other farms to it. I'm thinking next episode I'm gonna want to do the witch farms, because yeah, redstone and glowstone, I really want witch farms. I've been wanting witch farms for a while, and I had to delay this because I didn't have all the stone and everything I needed to build these buildings. So I'm thinking witch farms maybe next episode, but don't hold me to it. But if you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you. Please let me know what you think of these frog buildings, and if you're excited to see the rest of the Frog Kingdom, please let me know. Your feedback motivates me, and yeah, I appreciate it. And as you know, all my links are in the description. Okay, bye. If you heard that, that was my dog Penelope. She said bye.